February 9th, 2004. A lonely stretch of Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire. The wind bites through the trees, snow crunches under frozen tires, and a young woman's car lies crashed against a snowbank. A neighbor watches from her window. A bus driver stops to check on her. She seems shaken, but alive. She says she doesn't need help. She says she's fine. Minutes later, the police arrive. Her car is there. Her belongings are there. But she is gone. No footprints. No trail. No trace. This is not just a disappearance. This is a vanishing act that has haunted America for 2 decades. This is the case of Maura Murray. Maura Murray was 21 years old, a nursing student at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. Bright, athletic, former cadet at West Point. A young woman with discipline in her bones and a future ahead of her. But those who knew her say she carried a weight, a sadness behind the smile, secrets behind her silence. Maura grew up in Hanson, Massachusetts, the fourth of 5 children in a close-knit family. Her father, Fred, protective and persistent. Her mother, Lori, soft-spoken. They were a working-class family, toughened by divorce, but bound together. At West Point, Maura excelled academically, but struggled with the rigid structure. After a brush with discipline issues, she transferred to UMass Amherst to study nursing. Her friend said she wanted to help people, but she also wanted escape. Behind her achievements, Maura was battling pressures most never saw. She had been caught using a stolen credit card to order food. She had recently crashed her father's brand new Toyota during a late night party. She was drinking heavily, maybe coping. Her life looked controlled, but just beneath the surface, chaos brewed. The week before she vanished, Maura's behavior turned strange. On Thursday, February 5th, while working at her campus security job, Maura broke down in tears. Her supervisor said she was inconsolable, like someone had dropped a bomb in her life. When asked what was wrong, she whispered only, "My sister." But her sister, Kathleen, later insisted nothing had happened. On Saturday, February 7th, her father visited Amherst. That night, Maura took his Toyota out, crashed it into a guardrail. The car was nearly totaled. Fred was frustrated, but not furious. Still, Maura seemed shaken, embarrassed. On Monday, February 9th, the day she disappeared, Maura emailed professors saying she'd be gone for a week due to a death in the family. There was no death. She called a condo owner in Bartlett, New Hampshire, about renting a place near the White Mountains. She withdrew money from an ATM, $280, and stopped at a liquor store, buying wine, beer, and vodka. By late afternoon, she packed her Saturn sedan with her things and headed north. No one knew where. No one knew why. At 7:27 p.m., neighbor Faith Westman called 911. She reported a car accident outside her home on Route 112. She could see a woman standing by the vehicle. Moments later, school bus driver Butch Atwood stopped. He described Maura as cold but calm. She refused his offer to call police, claiming AAA was already on the way. But Butch knew something she didn't. There was no cell service here. He drove away, uneasy. At 7:42, he made his own 911 call. At 7:46, police officer Cecil Smith arrived. He found the Saturn locked, airbags deployed, the windshield cracked. Inside, a Coke bottle filled with red liquid that smelled of alcohol, maps of the White Mountains, a box of wine, and Maura's belongings. But Maura was gone. No blood, no struggle, no footprints in the snow leading into the woods. The search dogs tracked her scent for only a short distance, then lost it, as if she had entered another vehicle. The first hours of any missing persons case are critical. But in Maura's case, they slipped away. Local police initially treated it as a simple walk away. They assumed Maura had fled the scene to avoid trouble. No immediate roadblocks, no widespread alerts. By the time search parties were organized, nearly 36 hours had passed. The New Hampshire Fish and Game combed the area. Helicopters with thermal imaging scanned the woods. Bloodhounds followed her scent from the car, but it ended abruptly in the middle of the road, as if Maura had vanished into thin air. Days later, the FBI joined the search. They subpoenaed her phone records, bank accounts, emails. They found no activity after February 9th. No purchases, no calls, nothing. Her family pressed harder. Fred Murray walked the roads himself, flashlight in hand, begging for answers. But the silence grew louder. Theories of disappearance. Theory 1. Escape. Maybe Maura had planned her disappearance. The packed dorm room, the false emails, the maps, the alcohol. Maybe she wanted to vanish, to start over, to run from a life that was closing in. But if so, how? With no money, no car, and no confirmed sightings. Theory 2. Suicide. Some believe Maura went into the freezing woods to take her own life. She was overwhelmed, carrying secrets, drinking heavily. But no body was found, no clothes, no trace. Theory 3. Accident in the elements. Could she have wandered into the dark, disoriented, succumbing to the brutal cold? Temperatures that night dropped below freezing. But exhaustive searches, dogs, helicopters, cadaver teams, turned up nothing. Theory 4. Foul play. This is the theory that haunts most, that someone stopped that night, that Maura was taken. Locals reported a suspicious man lurking in the area. Rumors tied her to possible serial killers active in the Northeast. If true, her trail doesn't end in the woods. It ends in the hands of a predator. Theory 5. A staged disappearance. Some believe the crash was deliberate, a staged scene, meant to mislead. Was Maura meeting someone? Planning a new life? Did she orchestrate her own vanishing act? It remains a possibility. Years later, the FBI officially classified Maura's case as a suspicious disappearance. Behind the theories, behind the speculation, was a family shattered. Fred Murray refused to stop searching. He walked those same cold roads every year, begging for answers. Her sister Julie worked tirelessly to keep her case alive. But with every passing February, the silence deepened. No body, no suspects, no peace. It has been more than 20 years. No one knows what happened on that freezing night in Haverhill. Was Maura running from something? Or into something far worse? Did she seek escape? Or was she taken by the shadows, waiting on that lonely road? A car crash, a vanished girl, and a mystery that refuses to die. This case remains unsolved.